G'day, I'm Zane, and this is a story of betrayal, heartache, and loss. Back in 2020, my team, the Collingwood All-Stars, lost the Under-17 basketball grand final in Victoria. We played against nearly every 17 team in the state and came out on top. Well, nearly on top. The main reason we didn't take home gold was a lack of motivation from a few of our members who will remain nameless, except for Charlie Stone. I'll never forgive you, Charlie. This lack of motivation reared its big ugly head from not passing, throwing away decent shots, and not running back to get on defence. This all exemplifies the concept of self-interest. This is an example of Theory X. The main assumption in Theory X is that an average employee intrinsically does not like work and tries to escape it whenever possible. If we were to translate that to this situation, a team member does not intrinsically like working for the team and therefore slacks off and try to do as little as possible. Although one downfall of this in our situation is that in Theory X, McGregor suggests that a material reward is needed to motivate a player, whereas in actuality, we had a material reward of a nice, shiny gold medal. And yet, it still did not motivate some team players. Another reason my team members weren't very motivated was because it didn't line up with their needs. This was a theory proposed by Maslow's hierarchy, in which he asserts that there are 5 demands that drive human motivation: psychological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization, the last of which is rarely achieved. This self-actualization can be achieved through performing well on the basketball court, but only if that is a priority. For some individuals on my team, evidently, that was not a priority, and thus was not motivated to do their best on the court. Secondly, we had a lot of conflict in our group. This came about by unresolved previous conflict in regards to the choice of the team captain, being me, and role ambiguities, as there were some team members that were trying to do everything on the court when that wasn't necessarily their role. A result of this came from an overall lack of cohesion between the players, which carried on to a negative result on the scoreboard. Another reason things went awry in these grueling 50 minutes was a severe deprecation of communication. Whilst we had 2 timeouts to give per half in which we could recuperate and communicate, we only took 2 timeouts the entire game, and none within the most crucial later stages of the 4th quarter. This led to communication only happening shortly and whilst the game was happening by shouting out to the other team members on the court. The concept underpinning this effective communication is a little framework called PECE, or PEACE. Fleshed out, this stands for persuasive, efficient, credible, and effective, all components of good communication. By now, you should be able to see that we obviously fell short of this need, which is backed by the level of conflict we experienced among the team. The inadequate selection of communication channels stands out as the primary underlying problem in this specific circumstance. Whilst this method was efficient because it got the message out to everyone quickly, it was not effective because when there was something that a team member didn't understand, there was no room or time for inquiry. Furthermore, this method of communication was also not persuasive. Thus, the PEACE framework was drastically not upheld. If I were to do it all over again, I would set a meeting half an hour before the game started so I could take my team through all of our plays and our positions and offer up time to talk about everyone's concerns, worries, or what they are not sure about. This would reduce the noise in the communication channels and allow for the promotion and the effectiveness of communication and therefore the promotion of the PEACE framework. Additionally, I would try to resolve any previous conflict through mediation and conciliation. Arbitration, on the other hand, would not be as helpful, as a binding decision would not promote cohesion within the team and may even exacerbate any grievances the team members already have. Lastly, I will try to motivate my team by utilising the self-efficacy theory, which stipulates that when a team member believes in their ability, they will be able and more willing to be motivated to work. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something, and if you see Charlie Stone in the future, please remind him it's his fault we lost the 3-peat.